This episode is brought to you by Browning Firearms. Guys, Browning has been manufacturing rifles since 1878 and is still recognized as a classic, traditional company with a long, proud history. If you fast forward 147 years and they still are continuing to deliver high-quality rifles to the market. The newest addition to the Browning lineup is the Browning X-Bolt 2 rifle. The X-Bolt 2 represents the next generation of award-winning bolt-action rifles from Browning. This new rifle is designed with the concept of total accuracy in mind, featuring elements that work together to help you perform at your best, whether at the range or in the field. New features include the Veritech stock, which provides the adjustability of a chassis-style stock while maintaining the traditional Browning appearance without adding extra weight. Check them out at browning.com. Browning, the best there is. This episode brought to you by Leupold Optics. The folks at Leupold have been manufacturing top-notch glass for over 100 years. They're a family-owned business just like mine, and that's why I'm so proud to partner with them to bring you these genuine conversations. If you're in the market for a rifle scope, look at the VX5 HD series. The VX5 HD line of scopes are the workhorse for the backcountry hunter. While you're at it, don't forget to check out the Leupold's full line of range-finding binos, regular binos, and their spotting scopes that are second to none and field-tested in some of the hardest conditions on Earth. The Leupold Gold Ring is the gold standard. Not to mention, in an extremely unlikely event that your Leupold glass has a hiccup, Leupold offers a lifetime guarantee that won't let you down. Leupold, be relentless.
Christian, I really appreciate you coming all the way from Texas up to Powell, Wyoming, to sit down with us, explain your guys' suppressors. You guys have something unique in the suppressor world, and also you use one of our sponsors, Silencer Central, as one of your dealers. They make the process really easy, and you can get, for the audience, you can get a suppressor through their process, through Silencer Central. You can get a dead air suppressor to your mailbox.
That's right.
And, you got to sign for it. It's a little bit more complicated than
that. To the house, to the doorstep.
To the doorstep.
That's right.
And which is unique to them. They're the only ones that can do it. Yep. So let's talk a little bit about your backstory. We were talking here off camera a little bit that you live really close to one of my good friends down in Texas.
Yep.
And the audience will recognize the Hill Ranch, and you live next to Bobby and Dottie Hill, which is real. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Small world, just down the street.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
They're super neat people. But did you grow up in Texas?
No, so we're in Glen Rose, Texas now. I did not. I am a South Louisiana boy, born and raised in the swamp. And when
you
I mean
do not
swamp,
have that accent.
I don't. I really didn't have it for a long time. I had a little bit of it. Now, you talk to my dad, my grandparents' stuff, it's hard to understand them sometimes.
It's like, listen to the swamp people are like, I don't know what he has to say.
100%. But at least I understood what they were saying. When I say literally raised in the swamp, you walk out of our back door and you are in the swamp. So we grew up duck hunting, whitetail hunting, bird hunting, whatever it was, trapping. We did a lot of trapping.
Yeah.
In the swamp. So it was kind of different for me to grow up doing that and then move to Texas, or, found my love for the whitetail and mule deer and elk coming out west hunting. So it was really different going from hunting either in a tree stand or something with water and hip boots to just kind of not having any trees to get in and just walking around hunting, stalking. Right. So anyway, I was a state trooper there for many years and did
in
some
Louisiana
other stuff.
Or in
Louisiana.
Texas? Oh, wow.
Yeah, Louisiana. And I had worked for a sheriff's office there, did a lot of undercover work. I did it all. I just wanted to do everything I could. And then went overseas to Iraq, and at that time is whenever my wife and I were dating back then, and she worked for Lockheed Martin. So I stayed in Fort Worth and made a family and stayed in Texas. It's really cool. We got a couple children.
So were you in the armed forces in Iraq?
No, I was a contractor. I worked for DOD under a contract for the Army.
Okay.
Did a lot of training, did protection, did some celebrity protection while we were there, and then did some oil stuff, gas and oil. We were protecting people there. So, found my way back to Texas and got married, and here we go.
So your wife works for Lockheed Martin?
She used to. Now she's at Raytheon.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Government contracts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's really cool. That actually is a print that is the real painting is in the entrance of Lockheed Martin.
I saw that. So I'm like, I think I've seen this before. And I'm like, what? And I looked in the bottom right, Lockheed Martin. Yeah.
So the pilot of that helicopter, there's three helicopters. Butch Whiting that owns Cryptek.
Oh yeah.
He's the pilot in that photo.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so I got him. I got all three of the pilots to sign it when it first came out. It was a SHOT Show. Super neat. For those that can't see, we're looking at a photo of Apaches or a painting of Apache helicopters in Iraq.
Yeah.
And so that's lots of cool little quirks and connections.
That's right.
So how long have you been with Dead Air?
Right at 5 years. I've been in the industry for a little over 10 now, and our president, Ernie Beckwith, calls me one day. I actually was at another company, and I was, believe it or not, looking at going back to the Highway Patrol in Texas, though. And he calls me out of the blue, and, hey, what are you doing? This is what I'm doing. No, you're not. You're coming to work for me. And here we are. But we kind of, Dead Air is known for that tactical, we started with military contract, not started with, but we were heavy in the military contracts, commercial market, a little bit of hunting, but nobody ever looked at us as a hunting silencer or company. So my love for that, my passion, even though I had a lot of tactical experience in that background, that's all I ever knew. But the hunting was really my passion, because before I got in industry, when I came home from Iraq, I was like, what am I going to do? So I started with Whitetail Properties.
Oh,
I
okay.
was on the real estate side.
Oh, no kidding.
With Dan Perez and those guys. So I was in Texas and started working with a buddy of mine in the deer operation side and guiding. And then I was at Giles Island for 7 or 8 years guiding. Wow. I just fell in love with the hunting side. So, which I already was, but just kind of more into it.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how I got in industry.
So, so you've protected very high influential, famous people in Iraq. You've hunted with probably a bunch of them on that island. I mean, that's an invite only. You don't just call up one day and go, well, I'm going to go hunting there. That's not how that works.
Giles was cool.
And so let's talk a little bit about Dead Air and what makes your guys' stuff unique. Because you're right. I always looked at Dead Air up until about a year ago when we started hanging out.
Yeah.
I always looked at them as, well, that's a tactical thing. Would it work for hunting? Maybe, but there's there's a lot in it, and you have a lot of accessories and a lot of things added on, and hunters tend to be minimalists and simple. I don't want it breaking when it's out there, but you guys went from the tactical side into hunting. What makes Dead Air unique in the industry?
We were started a little over 10 years ago, and these were, I call him like Mike Pappas. He's the godfather of silencers. Like, this guy knows everything about everything, but he's just salt of the earth guy. But he puts his passion, and then another engineer, Todd McGee, they put their passion in making the best that they can make. And they came from another silencer company and made Dead Air. So they already knew. And we've got guys that have been in the industry for a long time that just have a wealth of knowledge. But what we do is a lot of people, you hear the decibel rating. What's the decibel? What's it do this? We understand that. And yes, we all need to have a comprehension of knowing what that decibel rating is and what it will do. But we chase tone, because I've said this a few times before with your guys here, is you can have George Strait over here strumming, singing at 130 decibels. And then you can have my 8-year-old daughter over here trying to sing at 130 decibels.
Those are different.
What sounds the
tones,
best, right? It's the tone. It's all about the tone to the ear. And that's kind of subjective too, because everybody's ears are different. I can't hear out of my right ear from past stuff, but everybody has a different tone and hearing, right? So we want to make sure that, yes, the decibels are there, but what's it sound like? What does it sound like to the human ear? We want to try to get as low as we can. Pleasant to shoot, right? Because there's still some calibers out there that are hard, like 223, 5.56. Super hard to tone down. But we're chasing that, and we're doing really well at it. We're doing some good stuff.
So why tone?
Well, because again, if you just focus on that decibel rating, you can still have loud whooshes and loud pitches and it still register at that decibel level. But the tone we want deep, because let's use you and you're hunting, you've got a silencer on your gun. I'm spotting, I'm filming. Well, we have to be able to communicate. And when you're shooting an animal, we definitely want to be able to communicate soft, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you shoot, not only does that tone disrupt you as the shooter, your spotter, your camera guy, but the other animals out in the field, because they hear a different tone too. So we don't want to disrupt the whole area of hunting, right? We don't want to spook the animals. So the deepest and lowest that you can do is the best.
Yeah, because it seems like lower sounds are more natural and less awareing to animals. The one of the things, and we can talk about this too, that I really enjoy shooting suppressed. And I've hunted 2 seasons now suppressed. Took my daughters to Africa and hunted suppressed, which was important over there because of follow-up shots. When you hunt suppressed, you actually get a follow-up shot. One of my friends, Glenn Eberly, that owns Eberly Stock Backpacks, he has a film out on YouTube where he shoots this sheep. And the only reason he got a follow-up shot, because he made a decent shot the first time, but you know how it is on sheep. You're like, I want this thing. I want it done.
You want it done, yeah.
I want
Go down.
Done. The only reason he got a follow-up shot is because they didn't hear it. The other sheep are just looking at him like, what are you doing? And he's reacting to not the gunshot. He's reacting to the bullet, which is super important, especially when you're hunting with kids. I took my oldest daughter on her first antelope, and she hit him the first time. It's one of those horrible things as a kid. She hit him in the back leg the first time, and we spent all day trying to get that antelope. And the only reason she got to shoot at him 25 times is because she was suppressed.
Yes.
And
holy cow!
Finally, she got mad enough that she made a 220-yard shot and just pinwheeled him.
Nice.
But because she was suppressed.
Yep.
You know, that's in the lower the tone, I think, is more natural.
Yeah.
You know, it's less alerting.
And look, I'm no engineer. There's people out there that do studies and stuff, and they do reviews of the sounds and the ways, 5 different locations to put the camera and the microphones. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that. I'm end user just as you are.
Yeah.
Right. Even though I work for the company, I'm still end user. But what I realize is now hunting suppressed all over. So, going from Texas to, I haven't hunted here yet, but New Mexico, Colorado, I hunt there every year, 2 or 3 times a year. Mm-hmm. And what I find is when I get into a lot of animals, like this past year I filmed a hunt, had a camera guy over my shoulder, and I shot this mule deer on this ridge, private ranch, and I'm like, oh, the lighting's great. We got to shoot him here. And here comes all these mule deer. There's 25, 30 mule deer with this big buck.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, I'm shooting him now. And my camera's guy, you got to wait. I'm like, you got 10 seconds. You better change your lens now. We got to get this. Yeah. This is the shot. But what I'm trying to say is when I shoot this mule deer, they bounce 2 or 3 bounces and they stop and look around. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
And then they're going, Fred, what are you doing on the ground?
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
What are you doing? Get up. And they started eating around him. Had no clue what happened.
He's expiring.
He's done. He was done. At the shot, he was done. And what you can hear is the impact on the animal, so you hit.
That's a good point.
And you can. Or, you're saying, the follow-up shot, you can either see impact or miss, so you can get your follow-up shot.
Well, so do you know the statistics on, because I've heard this talked about a lot. People are like, well, I'm shooting a 300, so I want to shoot it with a muzzle brake for kick and all that stuff. Isn't a suppressor the same as a muzzle brake as far as recoil?
It's better.
It's better.
It's better. So if I were just to put it on the table, just a flat rate, of course, barrel length, caliber, time of day, density, altitude, all that has something to do with it. But using a silencer, let's just say dead air, using a silencer, you can, I can just say without a doubt, at least 30% of your recoil is gone.
Really?
So not only the sound, but recoil. So you're taking recoil out of a shot. Now you can see impact or miss through the optic. You can get back on for your follow-up shot. But what about when you were talking about your daughter, taking a younger child, a smaller frame female or boy, whatever it may be, new shooter, new hunter, let's say that, you can now bump them up in caliber to make an ethical shot and kill that animal.
And it doesn't give them, the thing that I've noticed with my oldest didn't shoot her first deer suppressed. And it was a struggle because she was getting a flinch from shooting. And I recognized that and slowed it down, and we went back to a 17 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But with my youngest, I just gave her a 6.5 Creedmoor and said, here you go. 0 flinch, because she's not getting shocked, is scared, with that compression as well.
It's so awesome because I started my kids young, and my son took his first, he's 10, took his first 8-point this year, whitetail, and he has 0 bad habits from shooting because we always shoot suppressed. And now it's I've kind of ruined them. They will not shoot unsuppressed. He will tell you, Dad, I want to take my 350 Legend this year, but without a silencer, I won't shoot it.
Yeah.
And now my daughter, she's so tiny, she's little bitty. They don't develop those bad habits. Mm-hmm. So they know, stay in the optic, pin the trigger to the rear, don't jerk it. Remember, like when we were kids, there was no silencers. No. You didn't think about that. And those calibers, man, they hurt.
And my dad had one caliber. He had 2. He had a 243 that we could shoot antelope and deer with, but it was a 7 mag.
Yes.
And that was it. And that thing kicked like a mule. It was an old Ruger 7 mag that kicked like a mule.
100%. I think I started, my first rifle was a Marlin 336 CS lever action 30-30, because that's what you had in the swamp. You didn't have over a 90, 100-yard shot.
Yeah, everything was iron sights.
It would still thump you. But now, again, hunting suppressed, it has changed the game.
So explain that. Your guys, some suppressors, the gas goes backwards. Your guys' go forward, right?
We have some that we just released, the Lazarus and Sandman X, the Mojave. Those gases come out and go forward. It expels really slow, so you don't get that gas in there hitting really fast. Some of the companies that have done that before us, we're not the first, do a good job, but they're a little bit louder because it goes out a little bit faster. We've slowed ours down with the Triskelion baffle system we designed. It works in a way that it just slows everything down. It still goes out of the front, keeps the gas out of the face. But talking hunting suppressors, we're using them 99% on bolt guns, so it doesn't matter because it's a closed system. The bolt's a closed system, so it will automatically go out the front anyway. You're not getting gas in the face anyway on a bolt gun, and it actually performs really well.
So the gas, it's changing the pressure inside that suppressor. How does that affect impact?
So it will change your impact, your point of impact. I always tell people, develop your doe, get your sight. Get your point of impact. Go ahead and, zero, if you will, your rifle without the silencer, so you're on target. But what I do is when I put a suppressor on, that suppressor stays with that gun, and you can take it off and put it back on, and your impact's fine. But that suppressor, I won't take another suppressor and put on that gun.
Really?
It's a system.
Okay.
You're not going to take your optic off.
That's not on purpose.
Right, exactly, unless something happens.
Yeah.
But what we see is you can. It's a full system. If you change a suppressor and put on a different gun, you're going to have to re-zero. It's changing harmonics of the barrel. It is. It changes the harmonics. And some people, I've heard people say, they said at this company that, it won't change the point of impact. Once you re-zero, no, you're fine. Yeah. But it will change the point of impact if you take it on and off and go to a different suppressor.
Or a different rifle. So when you say harmonics, explain what do you mean by harmonics?
So the balancing of the rifle, the harmonics, the vibrations of the rifle when you shoot.
Today's sponsor is Forever Barnwood. Guys, we have been using this in our renovation of our building here in Powell, Wyoming, and I am here to tell you it is amazing. They are a premier supplier of barnwood across the U.S. Their products come from fresh-cut Wisconsin white pine, which has been kiln-dried way below standard lumber and hand-processed into various products like barn doors, beams, flooring, and wall covering. This type of lumber product provides all of the advantage of reclaimed barnwood at a fraction of the cost, not to mention how easy it is to work with because it's straight lumber and it doesn't have all the waste. Their barnwood products are a renewable resource and come in a variety of widths and lengths, large sizes for countertops, beams, posts, stairs, and railing systems, as well as wall covering and everything else. Their prices are only a fraction of the cost elsewhere, and they can ship anywhere you need it. With their innovative barnwood products, you'll have the right piece at the right time for your special project. So check them out at foreverbarnwood.com, and no matter what your project is, Forever Barnwood has you covered. This episode is sponsored by Secure It, the gun storage system. Have you ever wondered the best way to store your guns, ammo, and actually all your valuables? There is a fine line between safety and accessibility. There's also something to be said about being able to customize your safe for your needs. If you're storing long guns, handguns, ammo, or just need a wall to hang your equipment on, Secure It has your back. They have cabinets, rooms, and everything in between. Secure It safes are simple, strong, straightforward, and, by the way, they don't keep your combination codes. Secure It.
So people don't realize this, but when you shoot, if you ever look at a high-speed camera, that barrel looks like a noodle. It does. It's called barrel whip, and it as the bullet's going through it in high pressure, it whips, and having that suppressor changes that because of the pressure and its weight on the end and right.
100%.
And
you're hitting on every cylinder. Yes.
So do you have to worry about heat with those?
Worry? No. But I will back that up saying, let's say you're using one of the titanium suppressors that we have. The Nomad TI XC line is our newest hunting suppressor, 30 cal suppressor. They are designed for bolt. Can you put them on? And we use them on gas platforms all the time.
Okay.
Large caliber, 308, 300,
okay.
65, it doesn't matter. You don't want to abuse them by shooting a mag or two out of them at a time, right? Back to back, full auto. You can't do that. That's not what the design is for. Can you do a mag dump? Yeah, of course, and it's fine. But the longevity of that can won't be there like if it's for bolt gun use, because you won't see the end. It'll be fine. Now we have stainless steel models that you can full auto. You can abuse it however you like. But again,
so stainless steel is better than titanium as far as heat goes.
For heat, yeah, because
I didn't know that.
titanium doesn't dissipate the heat as fast or as well. But even with the new ones now, we've made these chambers and we've made some cuts on the exterior of the can for airflow that kind of cool them faster. But if you're sitting there hammering them down, they're gonna get hot.
So how do you know when you're surprised? I've never asked this question to anybody. Even Brandon Maddox, the owner of Silencer Central, I never asked him this. How do you know when your suppressor needs maintenance or is done?
That is an awesome question. We get that a lot. Weight, the buildup of the lead inside the can, you will see a weight difference. You can feel it. And then let's say you leave the silencer on. You never take it off. It is one full system. That is your system that you shoot. Point of impact shift.
Oh, all of a sudden it'll start throwing them.
Yeah. Most of the time on 30 cal high pressure rounds, you won't have to clean that thing because you're only shooting a couple rounds a year, right?
People are like, how many bullets do you shoot? I was like, before season, I shoot about a half a box to make sure everything's back to normal. And then during season, I might shoot 2 boxes through, but I hunt a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gone 10 weeks a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess. So how do you clean them?
So these are ours. We don't want to be able to take those silencers apart piece by piece. Yes, you can take the rear off for mounting and the front cap for changing that out. That's it. Because that's a stress point.
But you're not pulling the baffles out.
Nope. They're all one piece, titanium, 3D printed. It's one piece. It makes it stronger. So you're going to dunk it. There's solutions out there that are very good for that. They will take that, the fouling out, if you will, the lead buildup and the carbon and all that. And a little bit of carbon is actually pretty good. It's kind of like your muffler. It's kind of a dampening acoustics. So it's not bad. But for high pressure stuff, the next time you shoot, you're just going to blow that old stuff out. Is there going to be some residual? Of course there is. But if you want to clean it, just dunk it. And there's a couple good cleaners out there that actually do a really good job of doing that. But I leave mine in for a couple hours and just make sure to dry them out really well. Yeah, because if it's got petroleum based in it, it's going to have a fireball come out of there. And we don't want to do that.
Yeah, all of a sudden you got a flamethrower.
That's right. That or a pipe bomb. We don't want that thing to blow up. No. So just make sure you clean it really well. And you can flush it with water too.
Okay.
After you clean with your petroleum based product, you can flush it with water. Just make sure it's dry. Okay. Just dry it.
So what do you guys got coming? What's next? What's on the horizon at Dead Air?
There may be something coming pretty soon, which ish. Can't speak about that yet. Haven't been released yet, but we are looking to push the envelope. And look, that's the good thing about the suppressor industry. It's very small, but we all in the industry, all the suppressor companies, we keep each other honest and we keep each other pushing forward. Because look, it's kind of like Ford, Chevy, Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people like what they like, and they're going to stick with that, and that's great. We don't mind that. We make accessories for other silencer companies.
Can you make a suppressor for a train?
You know, I'm listening to that right now. I don't know if they'd want to do that, but while we're doing the podcast, maybe they should push a button out there. But yeah, we keep each other honest, and we keep the industry going by kind of pushing that envelope. Like, hey, what are you doing? This is what we're doing. You know, and that's
well. You guys have friendly competitions too, right? You go to Cheyenne. I've met a couple guys on their way back. You go to Cheyenne and have the decibel. I don't know what you call it, but they were measuring decibels and trying to figure out who's basically a giant measuring contest, right?
That was probably Thunder Beast. That was probably Ray at Thunder Beast. We love those guys. We get along really good, and we participate in that.
Yeah.
We want to be open arms to that because people don't know what they don't know, and it's all about training. And we do a lot of events throughout the year, throughout the country. We've got a lot of reps that work for me now, or for Dead Air. I'm the national sales manager, so I've got a lot of guys that are, you know, out there doing things, including myself. Mm-hmm. The best way to find a silencer for you, you know, you're like, go to these events, shooting events, go test them.
Yeah, go play around with them.
Yeah, because it's easy for me to sell, you know, or talk about a gun. You can hold it and see it, and it's all pretty. Well, a silencer is just really a tube right now.
Yeah.
Without being able to hear it, you have to be able to hear it. You have to be able to hear it perform.
That was one of the things that I was shocked about with your guys' suppressors versus the other ones that we've tested. Is you're right, they're just every one of them is unique. Yeah, they might all be hitting that. I can't remember what they have a benchmark, like it's got to be below this not to have hearing protection and all that stuff. But just the different harmonics and the different things that you hear in each one of them is unique. And it's kind of like shooting a bow. Go find one that, you know, what interests you. You know,
right.
Or you said a Ford, Chevy, Dodge. Do you want the Cummins or do you want, you know, a Cadillac?
That's right.
Just 4-wheel drive Cadillac.
What do you want?
Yeah.
You know, we try to check all the boxes because we're all in the chase of every box to be checked. Who can do that?
Yeah.
Safety concerns. So the hearing, you know, the hearing aspect of it, the weight, the length. Mm-hmm. We want the shortest, lightest, quietest can out there.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's chasing.
That isn't too big around that it screws up your sight picture, but
100%. We're trying to check those boxes, but there are cans driven to certain platforms like the Nomad series. That's more of a hunting platform can, right? Lightweight, easy to go packing through the mountains with on a lightweight rifle, keep it light. And then there's cans that are made for rimfire. There's cans made for AR platforms, heavy duty use.
Yeah.
They're different cans for different applications.
One thing I will tell the audience, if you shoot suppress, because I did this last year, we were talking about heat. Don't grab a hold of that son of a bitch.
It's a little hot.
I might have left my fingerprints on it once.
That's what that was
it's
on
like,
that
I wonder
can.
if this is hot. Poof. Oh, yep, that's hot.
That's hot.
They get way hotter than your barrel. Way hotter.
It does, because that's where all of those gases are caught. Because your barrel, all the gases are leaving with the projectile, but the gases are going to stay.
Captured.
They're captured in that can longer, so it's going to be heated up. Right, it's going to heat up.
Yeah.
So yes, some people put wraps on their cans.
I started doing that.
You can do that, and it keeps down from mirage in your optic if you do take a couple shots. But if it's a titanium can and you are sitting there shooting on the bench, confirming your zero, something like that, I take that wrap off because you're containing that heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once I go hunting, make sure to put that wrap back on. Anything that you touch on that gun, you are going to have a difference in the outcome of the projectile. So if you put a wrap on there, make sure to confirm with that wrap how it shoots.
Yeah.
And just people don't think about that, But is it going to be huge? No, but I would like to know. For me, I like to know everything.
So some of these events you're talking about, I mean, are they open to the public, or what are some of those examples?
Yeah, we started in Texas doing this suppressor 101 thing, and we would open it up to the public. We'll go to a local gun range and we try to pick some throughout the state, and we'll go to a gun range and just say, we're just going to sit here in a chair. We're not going to sell you anything. We just want you to know what these look like, sound like, the inner workings, like how does it work? If someone's never done this before, because there's a lot of new shooters and new hunters, and we want to keep that going. But we're seeing the demographics change. We're seeing a lot of 50 to 60 plus out there hunting. They're wanting to shoot suppressed. So they're coming to these events, and yes, they are open to the public, but now we're kind of doing that all over. We do training at a lot of gun stores, like Shields. They're doing a lot of stuff. Hunt Fest coming up. We'll be there. But we do a Friday live, and then we post where we're going to be at. We're all over.
Well, and that's pretty cool because before you make the investment, it's not like you're going to walk into a Shields and go play with all the different suppressors and shoot them, right?
Right.
And a suppressor you can look at and go, great, it's a can.
Yeah, that's
literally. I don't know the difference. But being able to get on a range and shoot them and listen to them and, what fits you, the Ford, Dodge, or Chevy, that's really super impressive and important. You guys are out of Utah?
Yeah, so Heber City.
Okay.
Yeah, Heber City, which there's pretty much the top 3 silencer companies are in that area. There's another one out there too, but Heber City, I'm in Texas, of course, but we have reps in every state.
Okay.
And if there's questions, they can actually go on our website or YouTube or, Instagram, Facebook, ask questions. There are groups out there that actually are made for this kind of stuff too. Again, there's some people that they love what they love and you can't change their mind, right? But I would encourage you, especially hunting, go out there and test them.
Yeah, yeah. That's super good. I mean, and if you're not shooting suppressed, why not? We joke about this, but it's 100% true. I won't hunt not suppressed now.
100% I won't.
Everybody's like, it's just a gimmick. And we I've heard this even from people in my own office. It's just a fad. It's a gimmick. And then you do it and you go, well, that's a game changer. It's not. It's a game changer.
It is.
Do I need one more thing to fuss with? No. Did we have an incident last fall where we had a hunt winner and his suppressor had spun off, but got loose. And he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. And he was getting frustrated. The wheels came off. Figured it out and got him. He was able to take a really nice antelope. But I know it's one more thing to screw with. I get it. But it is so worth it.
Yep.
Absolutely worth it. For you, there's no, I'm hoping to get to 67 years old and not have to have hearing aids is what I'm really hoping to. However, I'm either my wife started mumbling recently or I'm losing my hearing.
Huh?
Yeah. I swear I walk around my house, say most of the time. What?
Yeah.
But hopefully our kids won't because they never got affected by, and I'm sure you're the same way. Hearing is so important.
Super important. Once you lose it, especially our age, we can't get that back.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And it does suck not being able to hear. It does. But my kids are the same. Like, Dad, you can't hear what I'm saying ever. You always say, or what, or repeat. Because I'm always, what'd you say? Same thing. But that's really the most important thing, especially our kids and hunting.
Guns and rock and roll.
Yes. Loud rock and roll. Yes. I blame that too. But we've changed the game. Not just us, but the industry. It has changed hunting and to
a good thing.
That's right. In the best way possible. And that's really what I enjoy. I enjoy putting a rifle together, helping someone find what they love, putting a silencer on there when they're going hunting and just going through those steps of this is what you need to do. This is the things you need to check. And this is the outcome. Right. And it's just, I love seeing that. I love that.
Yeah. And the suppressed thing is a huge benefit to the wildlife. It's a huge benefit to the hunters. It's a huge, it's just a benefit. And honestly, they're making them now. I was going to ask you about that. I was going to say they're making them now that you can swap them between rifles. What's your thoughts on one suppressor, 3 different calibers? Having 3 different calibers, does it make a difference?
No, perfect. As long as you use that same suppressor, right? Because once you start changing things up, you will have a deviation, and that's okay as long as you know where that point of impact is going to be. Because you've done your homework.
Remember that because I have 2 of the same suppressors, and I just use them like they're the same. But I need to remember which is which. probably need
Yeah.
to mark them.
Look, just shoot them and see. Like, shoot them across the board. Take your 3 calibers and shoot that one suppressor, and then go back and change the suppressor and use it on the 3 caliber. Just see if there's a deviation.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a very minute, if it's the same can.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I'm sure it's going to be fine. But I will use one suppressor, and which I've tried to get a suppressor for each gun, and my tax stamp my tax stamps are very high. But anyway, I try to get one for each gun, but I've got one suppressor I'll use for 2 or 3 different calibers. As long as you go from the highest caliber and go down, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get a 30 cal and you can shoot your 243 through it, or 6.5 Creedmoor,
That's right, 6.5. You can do all of those.
So the funniest thing that ever happened when I first got my first suppressor, I bought it at a show. I was at SCI, and I'm walking up and then just listened to the pitch, right, and went, okay, I'm in. And of course, back then it was like 16 weeks or some stupid thing to get the paperwork done, and it was so dumb. And even with Silencer Central's process, it still took forever. And then they took my name off my name badge, which is not my legal name; it's my nickname, and that caused all sorts of hell at ATF.
Oh yeah.
So I think I was like 6 or 7 months before I got my first suppressor, but I did it. And then I was talking to one of my friends. I'm like, "Hey, do you shoot suppressed?" He goes, "You aren't shooting suppressed yet?" I was like, "No, I never even heard about it. I don't know anything about it." You know, I'm like all excited about it. And I was like, I bought the one that you can put on a 30 cal and all the way down. I'm just gonna have one suppressor. And he goes, "You won't have one." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Everybody says you only have one. You know how many they have? 4. You have 4 rifles, you're going to end up with 4 of them." I'm like, "No." Yeah, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
It's like the old Lay's thing. You can't eat just one. You can't just have one. Because you really want them for every caliber, every gun, because it makes sense. That's it.
And the other thing is, the first time I put it on my 300 Win Mag, I can't get it off. It's like I shot so many times that I'm sure if I got wrenches and really got after it, I could get it off. But then I went, that one stays there. I'm not even going to screw with it. It still fits in the safe. I'm not even going to screw with it.
Again, it's a system.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Yep.
It works, right?
Yep.
That's how I feel.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming out. We did some shoots out here, and went to the rodeo, which was fun.
Thank you. That was awesome. That has been, I don't want to say a dream, but I've always wanted to go to that Cody Stampede rodeo.
You got her photo with Donnie Gay?
And 5 minutes before, what did I say?
I wish I had a photo with Donnie Gay. And my buddy goes, "Oh, he's right there. Let's just do it."
And we did it. It was picture perfect timing.
Yep. And Donnie Gay's standing, Donnie, gosh, he's got to be like 5'1". He's a little guy, and we're all standing next to him.
6'. Give it to him.
Is he?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I know the photo. It's like,
yes, it was us. But he was so nice about it. And, growing up in the rodeo world, bulls, and we were riding bulls every weekend. Like, Donnie Gay was one of those guys, right?
He's
you always
goat,
heard the name.
Man.
That's right.
He's the GOAT.
And I told him last night, I think I told him, I was like, I just remember his old saying, he threw him like a yard dart. And we laughed, but thank you. The rodeo was fun. So we got a lot of shooting done, a lot of good product talked about, and it was a good time. So I appreciate the invite and the trip.
Yeah. Fly safe to back down to Texas. And if you see Dottie and Bobby Hill, tell them hello for me.
I'm going to go look them up now.
They have cutting horses. It's their big deal.
Oh, that's big in that area.
It is.
That is. Glen Rose, Stephenville area, that's big.
Yeah. So. Well, thanks for joining us today on Eastmans Journal Podcast. Christian, thank you for coming out again.
Of course. Thank you.
Thanks for the awesome conversation and enlightening us on why, if you're not, I don't know why, but why you should shoot suppressed.
Yeah.
So
that's right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Perfect.